You guys heard that, right? Ever since I sat down here, like something inside my wall has been squeaking. I don't know if there's like an animal or something in it, but it's freaking me the frick out. Please tell me you guys can hear that. Oh my gosh. It literally sounds like nails. I'm getting scared. Me also cracking open a freaking iced coffee. Okay. I'm gonna try to ignore that, although I don't necessarily like sitting here. This is my second one of these today. I can't stop drinking them. They are so good, but oh my god, they are so bad for me. Oh wait, I just realized I never focused you guys. Ooh. Okay, it's fine. I think you guys were in focus the entire time, so it's good. But yeah, these are so bad, but I literally can't stop drinking them. But back to the noises that I keep hearing. It doesn't sound like a house settling noise. You know, like when your house settles, it sounds like something. I don't know, maybe it's just my imagination. Hey dudes! Today I'm gonna be reading more of your paranormal stories. We haven't done one of these in a little bit. I want to start doing these more often just because I know that you guys, like, these are some of your favorite videos and I want to tell as many of your stories as I possibly can. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way that I can start making them more often than I am right now. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. And I have picked a few out and I guess we'll just get started. Okay. Please stop. Okay, that sounds like house settling. I'm just so confused. This first story comes from Bethany. I believe that is her name. It is her name. Hello, Bethany. Oh my god, and she's a cat mom. So she says, I just wanted to share a small experience I had when I was about 5 or 6. I had an imaginary friend, or so I thought. It was a little boy, about my age or a couple years older. I don't remember him having a name, and when my mom asked about him, I simply called him my friend. He didn't have color to him. I only ever saw him in black and white. Oh my god, that's so interesting. Personally, I don't remember myself ever having an imaginary friend, but to think about having one in black and white, that's weird. That's cool. But he did have shorter hair and wore coveralls with a t-shirt underneath and some knee-high socks paired with sneakers. This boy wasn't a huge part of my childhood. Looking back at it now, I only saw him for about a month, probably once a week or so. My mom never thought it was weird that I was talking to this boy, or at least she acted that way. And one day, I just stopped seeing him. About a month ago, my mom and I were talking, and this imaginary friend came up. And my mom's mouth dropped when I recalled him. As she too has been, I just got chills! Stop! Oh my gosh! Okay. As she too has seen the boy during the same period that I was seeing this boy. Do you see? I don't know if you can see my goosebumps, but I have chills. Oh my god. In fact, he wasn't friendly to her at all. She recalled seeing him in her room at night, crouching in the corner staring at her, and apparently he even growled at her once. I only ever saw the boy during the daytime, and that's when she told me she had her house cleansed, thus explaining why I stopped seeing the boy. Definitely crazy to find out nearly 15 years later. Oh, that is so creepy. Maybe he was protective over you or something. I don't know, but the fact that he was like nice and friendly to you, but like mean to your mom, ew, I just like envision it right now and I can't, oh my god, I can't imagine what your mom must have felt seeing that at night. Ooh, thank you so much for sharing that. That was such a good one to start on. I'm so creeped out now, especially with this noise going on. Ooh. Please stop. So this one comes from Michelle. She says, this isn't much of a dark paranormal, but more of a good paranormal. When I was 6, my mom and I were at the Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg, Illinois. We were going down an escalator and I had my hand on the railing. For some reason, I didn't want to let go when we got to the bottom and it got stuck in the belt. Your hand? Your hand got stuck in the belt? I was screaming and in a lot of pain, and no one was around since it was early in the day and the mall just had opened. My mom was yelling for help, but no one was around at that point. All of a sudden, a woman comes out of nowhere and gently grabs my hand and pulls it out. My mom, crying, thanked her. She turned around to check on me for only a few seconds and to look back to thank the woman again, but she was gone. Disappeared out of thin air. That mall is huge, and I seriously believe it was an angel or good spirit watching over me. That mall is freaking huge. Like, growing up, that's the mall that I went to, I still go to. It's huge. And so, like, seeing that mall, and then you go to different malls, like, around other places, like when I went to Iowa, I went to the Coralville Mall, or there's other malls, like, around here that I go to, but none of them are, like, even incomparable to the size that Woodfield is. Woodfield's a huge mall. I always thought that malls were always that big, and then you go and you see smaller malls and you're like, that's the normal size mall. Woodfield is just on drugs or something, you know, like it's crazy and there's a lot of people there. But yeah, I just liked that because it's a place that I know and like I could envision it because I go there. So that is crazy. Definitely sounds like a guardian angel or something for sure. This one is interesting because it has a picture attached to it. I believe this person's name is Raina. That's a pretty name. My cousin died on February 4th, 2016. The same year my sister had her birthday on the 11th of February. Every time one of my cousins has a birthday, we all take a picture together. Between me and my other cousin, there is a shadow of someone standing in between us. We think it's my cousin who died, wanting to be in the picture because he's the only one who isn't, and he's in all of our other birthday pictures. And I'll put the picture right here so you guys can see. You can clearly see that there's something standing there, like, and it looks like there's like a smile on the figure's face, and I don't know, it freaked me out a whole bunch, and so I had to share that because that's crazy. I like the little circle, you're like, here. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is crazy that you were able to capture something so like obvious. Dang. This next one is a little bit longer and it comes from a girl named Sarah. And she says, I have always noticed things ever since I was a kid. Like, I can't remember some of the stuff. My parents have just told me stories. I would see shadow people and scream to not let them take me while pointing at an empty closet. The earliest thing I can personally remember was when I was 8, and I had a nightmare and called for my mom and felt someone running their fingers through my hair, comforting me. When I looked up to apologize for waking who I thought was my mom, there was nobody there. Ooh. It just got more wild from there. When I was 14, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking my younger brother had come into my room. At this point, I had a lofted bed with a desk attached at the end. Now, it's important to note at the time my brother was much shorter than my desk, and even standing on the desk, he only could have touched the bottom bars on my bed. Well, I woke up and looked at the end of my bed and saw the face, from the nose up, of who I thought was my brother, so I rolled over and told him to go back to bed. The next morning, I woke up and my desk was a mess and my figurines were on the floor, like someone had been playing with them. Only ever saw him one time. I have chills again. Oh my god. The thing that gets me the absolute most is things that you see, like when you wake up in the dark, like figures that you see. I'm sorry, I just like look towards my door because I'm like getting kind of freaked out. I hate stories, I hate movies, I hate anything where like something happens to the person when they're asleep. And the fact that you just looked down at the edge of your bed and there was like I'm assuming it was like this much of a face, like you said, nose up, right? Cut off here, just like kind of like looking at you. I hate that. I hate that so much. I'm so sorry you went through that, and I want to cry. I hate that. We were also renting a house at one point that I always had a weird vibe from. We had moved from Florida to North Carolina and could only afford a small house, but I got my own room with a window seat, so I was excited. The only downside was my room was one of the spots that had access to the storage for the attic. I didn't think much about it at first, because the door for the attic was in my closet, and I would always have my closet doors closed, because I hate closets. Well, the first month or so, everything was relatively fine. On occasion, things would be moved, but I chalked it up to me moving them, or my brother moving them. Well, about 3 months into living there, things picked up, starting with what sounded like someone in the kitchen, which was right under my room. It was a 2-story house. My parents' room was right by the kitchen, so I always thought it was them. I could hear someone opening and closing cabinets. One day, my mom finally confronted me about the cabinets and told me to stop leaving them open all night, and I was confused because I wasn't doing that. And she said she could hear me coming down the stairs at night and opening the cabinets. We talked for a while about it and decided it was just my brother or dad. So we just let it go and kept living our lives. A few weeks later, I went to bed with my closet closed, like always. I never leave it open because they freak me out, and when I woke up, my door was open, and inside my closet, the attic door was open. I was freaked out, but I just went over and closed it, and locked it back up and closed my closet door. How could you just like wake up in the middle of the night, see your closet door open, see your attic door open, and just be like, alright, I'm just gonna close it and go back to bed. How could you do that? Why no! I'd go freaking sleep on the floor in the living room or something. Like, no thank you. I didn't want to think about it. How could you not think about it? Well, that kept happening, and one night I woke up to a shadow walking out of my closet. It walked over to my bed and stared at me. It was this huge pitch black thing, and it scared me so bad I wanted to throw the covers over my head, but I couldn't bring myself to move. It wasn't like sleep paralysis because I was slowly sliding to the other side of my bed to get as far away from it as possible. The next thing I know, it's gone. After that, I hated my room, and I would never go up there during the day, and I hated sleeping in there. Especially because one night it held me down in my bed. I felt it crawl up my bed and then up on me, and I could feel its weight on me. As soon as it let me go, I ran downstairs and slept on the couch. See, there you go. My mother can even vouch for me. She slept in the room one night because it was the coldest room in the house, something I forgot to mention earlier. And whatever it was sat on the edge of my bed and looked over to see who was in my bed, and left when it realized it wasn't me. I hated that house, and I'm so glad to have moved from it. I have more stories if you'd like, just don't want to spam you more than I already have. You guys are so freaking cute. All of you guys are always like, I have more only if you want them, or like, if you want more, I have them. I will never say no to you guys wanting to like tell me more stories. So if you have more stories and you have already sent me some, please like, don't even hesitate to message me again. Like, please do. I love to hear you guys' stories. Like, I'm serious. Like, please. Something must have happened in your house to have made it that active with paranormal activity. That's crazy creepy, and I can imagine how scarring that must have been for you. This next story is actually pretty long, and it has like a ton of pictures, so I figured it would be a good one, maybe to end off on. I don't know. If it doesn't take me that long to read this one, I will definitely read another one. This story comes from Amanda, and she said she has 2 stories in particular, one being calming and the other being scary. My first ever paranormal experience was back in 2013 while I lived in Virginia with my best friend for a year. I know Virginia is grounds for probably a lot of burial grounds, and I know it's an old-timey state where I don't even question that there are ghosts. The way the apartment was set up was my room and my friend's room were touching walls where our closets were, and I would always hear shuffling around in there, thinking she would just be in her closet or something. At this time, I was single and she had her husband, so I would always text her jokes such as, "What are you guys doing in there? Why are you guys in the closet? Oh my god." Or I would text her while he was gone and ask, "Do you have to throw your shoes in the closet? Are you okay?" In which she would reply, "What do you mean? I'm in bed." So I was already freaked out about the fact that I could hear it and she couldn't. Nothing ever went further than me hearing ruffling between the closet walls, so I pushed it aside even though we always joked that our apartment was full of ghosts. Another thing to add was only my bedroom was extremely cold. Like I would go in her room and it was so hot and it would be like 10 to 15 degrees colder in my room. One night around 2:30 a.m., we had the munchies and left our apartment to go get some food from the McDonald's across the street. As we were leaving the apartment, everything was normal, and we went about our business. On the way back in, our downstairs neighbor's door was slightly ajar, just enough for us to see in and see that the entire apartment was empty and there was nothing but a lamp with a red light bulb in the middle of the floor. We were terrified. As you should be. That sounds like a literal horror movie. We ran upstairs so fast and closed and locked the door behind us. Keep in mind, our downstairs neighbor was military, so she was never home. But we started to wonder if she was even real because her apartment would be fully furnished one week and the next, absolutely nothing. Not to mention she had a framed picture nailed to the brick outside. We were thoroughly confused and spooked. The next morning we called the rental office and asked if maintenance was in there for some odd reason, and they explained no. Maintenance doesn't do work at 2:30 to 3 a.m. and that the apartment was actually not being rented out. We were so scared, and every time we try to explain the story to our friends, they think we were tripping or we were just baked, when that isn't the case. Still to this day, we are so confused on the whole situation and wonder if what we saw that night was a ghost or if that apartment had something in it. And then her next story, she says, is when she moved back from Virginia. I moved back from Virginia because my grandma had passed away, and I was staying in her room. She passed in there. Before she had passed, every night around 5 to 6 p.m., she would get ready for bed and put on her nightgown. Keep in mind, I moved back like a week or 2 after she passed, so her nightgowns and clothes were still in her drawers, as they would have been if she was still alive, and they were untouched. This one evening, it was my mom and I home alone, and I had gone to the kitchen to make some food. When I had gone back to my room, I noticed the drawer that held my grandmother's nightgowns was opened, so I proceeded to ask my mom, "Why did you open these drawers? What do you need with Grandma's clothes? What are you looking for?" And she responded with, "What are you talking about, Amanda? I didn't go into your room." I was a little uneasy at first, but since I was across the country in Virginia when she passed, I felt comforting knowing that her soul was still in the room with me. I had come to the conclusion that she was getting ready for bed, as she always had done every night before she passed. I miss her so much. Aw, she probably was going through her little routine, her little like nightly routine. That's cute. Aw, thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing those with me. That last one was very sweet. I decided we're gonna read one more. So this next story is from, I don't know if it's Bailey or Billy, because her handle says Bailey, but her bio says Billy. So Bailey or Billy, either way, Super cute name. Okay, fun fact, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent right now. I love the name Billy for a girl. I think it's the cutest freaking name anybody could ever name their daughter. That's such a cute name. Okay, I'm done with my little rant. So her story. So it began around December last year. I love the paranormal, so I decided to pick up a Ouija board. Bad idea. I had it just chilling under my bed until my friend and I decided to go use it. I live in a tiny town in Ohio. I almost said Ohio. Ohio, what is that? Like, it's Ohio mixed with Idaho, like Ohio. I live in a tiny town in Idaho that has a bridge that is supposedly haunted, so my friend and I went there around midnight to go try it out. It was probably about 40 degrees outside, so both of us lasted about 5 minutes trying to contact someone before we got too cold and left because nothing happened. So after returning home, I stuck it back under my bed. Over the next couple months, I started experiencing a rise in sleep paralysis. It got to the point that I was too scared to sleep. I never connected it to the Ouija board until my friend from a different state came to visit in December. I have a strip of LED lights on top of my bed that are controlled by a remote. I don't use them much, so I keep the remote in my drawer. So my friend and I are sleeping. It was probably 2 a.m. and the LED lights turn on. My friend and I are obviously annoyed because we just got woken up, so we both tell each other to turn them off. I figured she was messing with me, so I just put the covers over my head to shield the light. She told me she didn't do it. So after talking and looking for the remote, I find it in the drawer where I always keep it. The lights can only be turned on and off with that remote, and neither of us had it. So the next morning we go to the bridge where the Ouija board was originally used and threw it in the river and said a protection prayer. Since getting rid of the board, I haven't had sleep paralysis or any other experiences. I do believe that it was probably connected to the board. I think that something followed you home from the supposedly haunted bridge. You have to be careful when visiting haunted places because things can follow you and they will follow you. Something could just like your light or just like you and just want to follow you home, and it will. And so even though nothing happened while you were at the bridge, it definitely could have attached itself to you and came home with you. Stop! My Discord is like popping off right now, I guess. I'm pretty sure spirits can mess with technology. I don't know. I think I've heard that and I think I've seen that before, that they can mess with technology every once in a while. So it doesn't surprise me that it did kind of mess with your lights a bit. I would be careful with throwing a board into the river though. I mean, one, that's like kind of littering, and then two, it might not like break the connection. I think the best way to get rid of a board, you don't snap it in half because that releases everything. You give it back to the earth, so you bury it, and then you bury the planchette like a few feet away. At least that is what I have heard from like many different people, as well as like my mom's friend. Like I said earlier, I really want to start doing these videos more, so I don't know how often you guys would be okay with me uploading them. I don't know if like 2 weeks in a row would be too much. Maybe I could do like 2 weeks in a row and then like 2 videos not. I don't know. It depends. But like I really enjoy reading you guys' stories. I want to be able to tell as many as I can. So I do want to start uploading them more frequently. And speaking of that, if you guys have any stories that you guys want to send me, please send them to me. You can send them to me on Instagram in my DMs, on Twitter in my DMs. I don't know another way, because I know that a lot of you guys don't like typing it out on your phone because a lot of your stories are very long, and I'm sure that is very time consuming being able to text. So I don't know another way that you could do that, like maybe through like a computer or something like that. I don't know. I don't really know what another way for me to be able to receive your stories other than like through a social media would be. But if you have any suggestions on like what I could do, please let me know. I am gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time with probably another paranormal video, maybe? I think so. All right, bye everybody. If you guys don't know, my sister goes to school out in California, and so she was here for like a little over a month earlier this summer, and then she went back for about like a little over a month, and now she's coming back in, well, it's Sunday right now, but you guys are gonna see this like this coming Saturday, so it's gonna be like about a week between the time that I'm filming this and the time that I post it. Like a few days after this video goes up, she comes back home. We are planning on going to visit a haunted place in Illinois. It's like the most haunted cemetery, I think, in the nation. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. Me just talks about how you have to be careful visiting haunting places. Also me going to a haunted place. Like, I don't think I learned my lesson. It's a place that I've literally been saying for about like a year and a half now that I'm going to go visit, but I just haven't done it yet, and I just need to just do it. So my sister said that she wants to go as well. So I think we're gonna make that like a little like vlog type thing. I don't know if it'll be a vlog, but like it'll definitely be coming probably within the next month or two. I don't know. I don't want to put a specific timestamp on it because I realize that whenever I tell people I'm gonna do this on this day, it's never that day. So I just need to start not promising anything, or I just need to fix my shit and just get it done, you know? And then also, I did say that I had a little bit of a paranormal update, and so I believe that that is going to be next week's video. So you guys are seeing this Saturday, the what? It's the 21st right now, but you guys are going to see this on the 27th. So I think August 3rd is when I'll have that paranormal update up. Okay, I think that's about it. Alright, I'm gonna go for real now.